6-time Pro Bowler from the U, Reggie Wayne. How are you, Reggie?
I'm good, fellas. How y'all doing?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for calling in.
No problem.
So,
thanks for having me.
Were you one of the guys who got a text from Peyton Sunday saying I'm out, I'm done? Did you get that from Peyton?
Yeah, I got a text. Actually, I got more than a text. I got a phone call. How about that? I got a phone call. Yeah,
Okay.
He gave me a text, and then I called him and we talked. You know, we talked about it. And we know how Peyton is, and he told me he wanted me, you know, to hear from him and not the media. You know, and I respect that, man. That's the type of person Peyton is, and I expect less. I mean, he's been doing it for years, and guys that, you know the story about him when guys retire, he sent them cards and notes and things like that. And now that he's retiring, I don't expect him to, to slacken at any level. And he gave me a phone call, and we talked it out, and I'm happy for him, man. I'm proud of him.
Was this on Sunday? Did you get that call Sunday?
This was on Sunday, yes.
What'd you think of the announcement yesterday?
You know, I actually only saw parts of it because I actually was on the plane.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
I was on the plane when it went down, so I didn't have the opportunity to actually see it. Actually, I heard all the way up until after John Elway spoke. That was the last thing I heard. I didn't hear anything Peyton said. I need to go back and take a listen to it.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, everybody introduced everybody who introduced everybody, and then they finally let Peyton go up there after a video, and then, So what would you say was Peyton's legacy? If I asked you that question, what's your answer to that, Reggie?
Man, I'm just tell you, there's nobody that I know that prepared, that studied, that was ready for a game more than Peyton Manning. It got to the point to where I'm like, man, there is no possible way this guy has a social life. Like, he can't, because it's like you said, he's 24/7, 365 days a year. He is football. And listen, I gave a quote to the Colts, about Peyton, his retirement, and I said, now you can chill and finally have an adult beverage. Finally. You can sit back and relax and have an adult beverage because he's football all day. So, he's probably going to be he's probably going to gain a little weight. And probably he's finally, as I always say, now he can live.
Yeah.
But there's nobody that prepares as much and harder than this guy.
Reggie.
I mean, this is all he did.
Reggie Wayne here on the Rich Eisen Show. How did that permeate the team?
It made everybody get on their P's and Q's. It really did. Just because that he was going to be ready, and me being a receiver and he's my quarterback, I want to make sure I'm ready too. I remember when I was a rookie, and Marvin Harrison was already there, and Peyton was there, and Edgerrin James was there, and I remember him looking at Marvin and just giving Marvin a certain look, and Marvin knew exactly what he was talking about. Then all of a sudden they go out there and perfect it, and you got 6 points. I wanted to make sure I was on that same page, so I watched him, the way he prepared, the way he got everybody organized and got everything in formation. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't that guy that not know what was about to happen. So him preparing the way he did, it made everybody get on their P's and Q's. It made everybody make sure they dot their I's and cross their T's, and make sure that everything was in motion. And that's what he did. He made everybody better to that point, to where Monday, through Saturday, you were going to have all the information that you possibly can get, and then Sunday it was just going out there and make it happen.
How long did it take till you got the look where you got a Peyton Manning look down? And
once I got my first look, I was like, man, have I arrived? Have I made it? No, I didn't. I didn't make it. Not just yet, but it took a little while, But up until my third year, I started getting those looks, and he started trusting me and believing that, Reggie's going to know what I'm talking about. He's going to be ready to go, and it takes time. It really does. And I mean, once I finally start getting them on a consistent basis, then I can finally relax. Now I can kind of relax a little bit. Still do, make sure I'm on my P's and Q's, but now I can be like, okay, now you're starting to trust in me. Now I got to bump it up a little level.
Is there one throw, one sequence in a game that leaps out at you that you could pinpoint and say that was my relationship with Peyton in a nutshell?
Well, it was so many. It was so many. I'll tell you what. One time, one way I can always tell, especially down in the red zone, and, we getting ready, say, for instance, we inside the 5-yard line, and Peyton to get up to the line of scrimmage, and you can, after, so many years, you can kind of tell if he's about to throw you this ball. He kind of come to the line of scrimmage, and he kind of look around, brainstorm, scan a little bit, and then all of a sudden that final look, before you get under, he kind of look at me, So I like, hey, I think this is my ball, Right. So he would do that quite often, and sure enough, I was 100% on there, So you want to make sure you're open, because if it don't work, he's probably not going to do it again, So you want to make sure you're open, and it was numerous times. I remember the game-winning touchdown against Houston one year back at Houston. I caught actually a one-hander fade in the end zone to seal a deal, and that was one of those looks that he gives you, and he gave me that look, and sure enough, he believed in me and trusted in me, and he threw me that ball, and the rest was history.
Reggie Wayne joining me a day after Peyton Manning retires, and on the day that Calvin Johnson announces his retirement here on the Rich Eisen Show. What does it take to be a high-level, highly successful wide receiver? What does it take week in, week out, Reggie?
Sacrifice. You have to have that desire to be good. You have to exhaust yourself into being good. And that's one thing Peyton, that's one thing he did. He was 24/7, 365 days. He exhausted himself, with football. And you look at the results. If you look at his resume, you see what he's done. A lot of people be like, man, you got to be able to live. You got to be able to do this. But at the end of the day, you can't have your cake and eat it too, without putting time and effort. Calvin Johnson, he's retiring. A lot of people may say it's early, but you got to listen to, the way his body feels and the way he understands. But when he played those 9 years, I can guarantee you, he gave maximum effort. He prepared. He sacrificed. Your families and, your time and your off season, things like that. You put that stuff, a lot of people take it for granted, but, at the end of the day, all that stuff, that's time that you can't get back. I'm not sure if Calvin Johnson's married or not, but if he is, then, that's time that you can't get back, that you're losing with your spouse or your kids or things like that. So you got to take everything in stride and make the best of everything at that moment, But to be one of the best, or to be one of the premier guys, you got to really put the time in, the sacrifice and the effort to be good. It's a lot of guys, in my opinion, today in the NFL, they just want all of the final, what comes with it. They want the Pro Bowls, they want the championship rings, they want all this stuff, but they don't put the time and the effort in. They just want it to fall in their lap. It doesn't go that way. I think every year the Super Bowl champions are well deserving, because I guarantee you, those guys put the time and the work and the heart, the determination into it each and every day to get that final result.
Reggie Wayne joining me here, and that's part of the reason why I was so look, I know Terrell Owens said something about Marvin's character, and Marvin, as we all know, said something back. But to me, I would think that everybody knows when you're at such a high level as a wide receiver, what it takes to do what they did, that everyone would have respect for each other. What did you think about that, T.O. Marvin? Back and forth, Reggie.
One thing I don't know much about. I hear that T.O. worked hard and this and that, and I don't doubt that he does that. But I do know that if you take Peyton off the board, Marvin Harrison is that next guy that's working extra hard. I remember when I coming in from the U, I'm thinking we go up against the best every day in college. So you know what? Going to the league, I kind of got a glimpse of this, how it goes. Let me sit back. As we call him, I have an OG in Marvin Harrison, already there. I'm going to watch him and see how he works. Coming in, watching him. Dude took no playoff in practice. Took no playoff in games. Every practice, he took every rep. Peyton Manning took every rep. When Edgerrin James was there, took every rep. So I'm sitting back, I said, oh, this is why they call them the Three Amigos. So now I'm looking at Marvin Harrison, and I'm like, okay, I guess I got to get in better shape because I can't miss any reps. So that right there, I'm watching him and watching him, and after practice over, sitting back doing extra, putting all the hard work in, yada, yada, yada. So now I'm looking at that. I'm like, all right, this is how they become one of the best at their position in this league, one of the best to ever do it. So all of a sudden, now I'm taking every rep. Every time, and it got down to the point to where all the years we played together, whenever Peyton Manning was under that center, it was always Marv on the right, Reggie Wayne on the left, no matter what it was. Mm-hmm. Whenever Peyton got under the center, we went. That's how we become, good at our craft, And if Peyton was handing the ball off to somebody, he was handing it off to Edgerrin James when he was there. That's how we became good. We did everything all the time.
No, and I'm sure you back up Marvin, no doubt about it. But he and T.O., did you?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I can only speak for Marv, mm-hmm. and I know Marv is well deserved. He is well deserved, mm-hmm. and it was his time.
Y'all know, and it was his time.
It was his time.
What about you, Reggie Wayne? What about you? Have you handed in your papers yet?
I have not handed in my papers yet.
Okay.
I don't know. I just bought me a dog. I just bought me an American Bulldog, so he's been keeping me busy.
Okay.
He's been keeping me busy, but I have not. I'm just chilling, man. I'm just living right now.
So you're thinking about still playing? Because
you never know. You never know.
Okay.
I tell you what. After I hand them papers in, you'll be the first to know.
Okay.
That I've handed them in.
Do you want to go play in Buffalo just so you could see Ed Reed coach up close and personal from
that
back in the
I do not want to do. That I do not want to do.
Because it's cold, right?
It is definitely cold.
Okay.
And I talked to him the other day, and he said, man, it was 20 degrees. I said, I feel sorry for you.
How good a coach you think Ed's going to be, Reggie?
I think he's going to be a great coach.
Okay.
I don't think, at the safety level, there's not many that I can say that's, had more success than Ed Reed at that position. He's one of the best to ever do it. I guarantee you this guy, Peyton Manning, who just retired yesterday officially, can tell you it was, every time we played the Baltimore Ravens, every play you had to find out what Ed Reed was, or else he was going to embarrass you. I just, back in college when we were roommates, I remember it'd be a football game on Sundays, and this dude is standing in front of the TV like he's in the game.
What do you mean?
He's in his stance in front of the TV like he's playing. I walk in the door, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, sit down, sit down. And he's like, hey, I'm visualizing myself being in that game. Mm-hmm. That's the type of dude he was, And I just know that he makes people around him better. I do know that, and everybody that I know that played with him, they love the way that he took control of meeting rooms and things. And so I think coaching is in his blood. I really do.
Did you name your bulldog Law?
I did not name my bulldog Law. My bulldog name is Tank. Tank.
Well, I'm not mentioning that just because of Chris Law. I'm mentioning about Ed's your old pet snake that Ed didn't take care of when you were roommates back at the U.
Well, we just, not to bring up Law, God bless the dead. Yeah, Law didn't make it.
Ed is the worst caretaker. Ed is the worst caretaker of snakes in the history of
I probably should have did something different then.
That's okay, Reggie. It's different times.
Yeah.
So to recap, you are just a dog owner, a husband, a dad.
Yep.
That has yet to hand in retirement papers with the National Football League.
You are absolutely correct.
And you kick the tires on the paparazzi with us, and you're great at it, Reggie.
I love it.
You really
actually had a blast doing it.
Okay.
I actually missed doing it, to be honest with you. I enjoyed it that much. It was fun. I really enjoyed it.
Well, we loved having you. And if you're out in Los Angeles again, let me know. You come sit down here. We'll do more paparazzi stuff.
I'm excited about the opportunity.
Excellent, Reggie. Thanks for calling in. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
You bet. That's Reggie Wayne.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.